Okay, we're gonna start with our pattern for our little monster. So what you need to start with is you really do need to have a pair of paper scissors, a pencil. An eraser is not an absolute, but you certainly can have one. And then maybe just your ideas. I went to Pinterest and put in the search engine hand sewn monsters. There's other ways to search it, but that's the way that I did it. And I came up with a couple of different projects. Some were more advanced than others, and some were using like old gloves that maybe don't fit you anymore, or you don't wear them anymore from winter. Maybe even using an old sock. Just, you can be very creative, and even using scraps of fabric or an arm of an old sweater. This definitely can be done a variety of ways and with a variety of materials. So what I'm going to start with first is my piece of paper and the drawing out of what it is that I want to draw. Now, I found a little monster that I really like. He was kind of cute, and he does his stitching, most of it is on the machine, but I'm going to do it by hand, and just show you the basics of things, okay? And I think he might have been an old sock or an old sweater, but I'm going to use felt for my monster, but first I'm going to draw it out. So here's the thing, the basic shape of this monster that I found that I liked was, he didn't even have arms. So that's another thing too we want to be really careful with. We want to be careful with having little bitty things because it makes it very difficult to stitch. So he was kind of a U shape, upside down U shape, and he had sort of a oval shaped head. So I'm doing this, and then I'm going to bring this down again so that it's the same size from the oval. And he had 2 legs. Like I said, this is the shape that he was here. And he had 2 legs. So we know, like right here is where his legs divided. So I went ahead and just did that shape right there. So it sort of looks like a little smile right in between. And then I'm connecting. Okay, so if you have some discrepancy in your pattern, you always could take your pattern and fold it in half and then just follow one of the lines, especially if it's the same on either side, so that it's symmetrical. Absolutely can do that. We're going to cut it out, and then we're going to pin it onto whatever fabric we're going to use. Now, the reason why I think it's a good idea to use a half a sheet of notebook paper or copying paper is because that will enable you to have a little monster that's not going to be the size of a sleeping pillow, and it won't take as much stuffing, depending on what you're stuffing it with. It won't take as many materials, which is a good thing. So get your pattern drawn, do a little research and get your pattern drawn, and then you're going to cut it out, and then while you're drawing it out and researching, kind of decide what materials you have, what you need. Do you want to use buttons, ribbon? Do you have more than one color of thread if you want to use more than one color of thread? If you're wanting to use embroidery thread, do you have an embroidery needle? Because that's different than a regular needle. Do you want to use recycled materials? Do you want to use felt? Do you have any felt? And I will tell you that you can get felt at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, which are all open, and even Walmart, and they're not even, I want to say that I picked up like 10 sheets of felt, and then maybe I paid $1.50. I just didn't know what color I wanted, so I just picked up a handful of, felt, okay? And we've already used some of it. If this is something that you really want to do and you don't have any materials, you cannot go get any materials, let me know and we'll make sure that you get those. These are just a few examples that were found on Pinterest that you could do with extra fabric or with felt. That's a cute little easy monster that does not include any buttons. This one was my inspiration that I created in the upcoming videos. But if you were to search online or Pinterest, you would find some fun ideas. Go for it.